If you are over 60 and you think all vegetables are equally good for you, this video is going to change the way you look at your grocery cart, because the truth about vegetables and aging is significantly more nuanced than the simple message of eat more vegetables that most of us grew up hearing. There are 4 specific vegetables that, in the context of certain common health conditions and medications that affect a large proportion of seniors, can cause more harm than good, and there are 4 specific vegetables that research consistently identifies as among the most powerfully protective foods available for the aging body. By the end of this video, you are going to know exactly which vegetables belong in which category, why the reasons behind each recommendation are rooted in real physiology and real clinical evidence, and what this means practically for what you put on your plate starting today. Stay with us until the very end, because the 4th vegetable in the must-eat category is one that most seniors overlook entirely, and the research behind what it does for the aging body is remarkable. Before we get into the specific vegetables, the context that makes all of this make sense is this. The body after 60 is managing a different set of circumstances than the body at 40. Many seniors are on medications that interact directly with specific food compounds. Many have some degree of kidney function decline that changes which nutrients can accumulate to dangerous levels. Many have thyroid conditions, blood pressure concerns, potassium sensitivities, or digestive changes that make certain otherwise healthy foods less ideal than they would be for a younger person without these conditions. Understanding that nutrition after 60 is genuinely individual, and that a vegetable that is excellent for one senior can be problematic for another depending on their medications and health conditions, is the foundation for everything we are about to discuss. The first vegetable category that deserves careful consideration for many seniors is raw cruciferous vegetables, particularly kale, raw broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage consumed in very large amounts in their raw form. This may seem counterintuitive because these are celebrated as some of the most nutritious foods available, and they genuinely are. But for seniors managing thyroid conditions, particularly hypothyroidism, raw cruciferous vegetables contain compounds called goitrogens that can interfere with thyroid hormone production and iodine uptake when consumed in very large quantities on a regular basis. The cooking process significantly reduces goitrogenic activity, which is why cooked cruciferous vegetables are generally considered safe even for those managing thyroid conditions. For seniors without thyroid conditions, this concern is minimal and these vegetables are genuinely excellent nutritional choices. The key here is individual health context, which is why blanket advice about vegetables fails seniors in a way it does not fail younger adults with fewer complicating health factors. The second vegetable category that requires specific attention for a significant portion of the senior population is high-potassium vegetables, particularly for those with chronic kidney disease or significantly reduced kidney function. Vegetables including potatoes, sweet potatoes, tomatoes, beets, avocados, and leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard are high in potassium. For most healthy adults, dietary potassium is beneficial, supporting blood pressure regulation and cardiovascular health. But for seniors whose kidneys are no longer filtering efficiently, the kidneys may not be able to excrete excess potassium efficiently. When potassium accumulates in the blood to elevated levels, a condition called hyperkalemia, it can cause dangerous heart rhythm disturbances. If you are over 60 and have never had a conversation with your doctor specifically about your kidney function and whether dietary potassium management is relevant for you, this is an important gap to address. The third vegetable category that is problematic for a specific but very large subset of seniors is leafy greens in the context of blood thinners. Spinach, kale, collard greens, Swiss chard, parsley, and many other leafy vegetables are rich in vitamin K, which is essential for blood clotting. For seniors who take warfarin, a blood thinner prescribed to reduce the risk of stroke and blood clots in conditions like atrial fibrillation, vitamin K directly counteracts the medication's blood-thinning effect. When someone on warfarin suddenly dramatically increases their leafy green consumption, their blood clotting measurement can shift significantly, putting them at increased risk of the very clotting events the medication is meant to prevent. Millions of seniors are on warfarin and have never been told clearly enough about this interaction to manage it properly. If you are on a blood thinner and you eat leafy greens, consistency in your weekly intake is the most important dietary habit you can maintain. The fourth vegetable category that is problematic for many seniors is raw sprouts of all kinds, including bean sprouts and alfalfa sprouts. Raw sprouts are grown in warm, humid conditions that are ideal for bacterial contamination, and they have been repeatedly linked to outbreaks of foodborne illness. The immune system's ability to fight off foodborne pathogens weakens with age, meaning that the same contamination that might cause mild discomfort in a younger adult can cause serious illness in a senior. Food safety authorities, including the CDC, specifically recommend that older adults avoid raw sprouts or cook them thoroughly before eating. Now let's turn to the 4 vegetables that seniors should be eating every single day, because this is where the conversation shifts from caution to genuine opportunity. These are vegetables that research has repeatedly identified as having specific protective effects that are particularly valuable for the physiological challenges of aging. The first must-eat vegetable is broccoli, and specifically cooked broccoli consumed regularly. Broccoli contains a compound called sulforaphane, which is activated when broccoli is chewed or chopped and has been one of the most intensively studied plant compounds in cancer prevention research. Sulforaphane activates a cellular pathway called NRF2 that upregulates the body's own antioxidant defenses, essentially telling cells to produce more of their own protective enzymes. This cellular protection is particularly valuable with aging because the accumulation of oxidative damage in cells is one of the primary drivers of aging itself and of virtually every major age-related disease. Beyond sulforaphane, broccoli is rich in vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, fiber, and compounds that support cardiovascular health and blood sugar regulation. The second must-eat vegetable is spinach, with the caveat already mentioned about warfarin interactions, because for seniors not on blood thinners it is one of the most nutritionally complete vegetables available. Spinach is rich in magnesium, a mineral that becomes increasingly important with age as its absorption decreases and its role in blood pressure regulation, blood sugar management, nerve function, and sleep quality becomes more relevant. It contains lutein and zeaxanthin, carotenoids that are specifically protective against age-related macular degeneration and cataracts, 2 of the most common causes of vision deterioration in older adults. And it contains nitrates that support cardiovascular function through their conversion to nitric oxide, which helps maintain the elasticity of blood vessels. The third must-eat vegetable is garlic, which occupies a unique position in the research literature because its benefits extend across so many different systems simultaneously. Garlic contains a compound called allicin, which is produced when garlic is chopped or crushed and has been studied extensively for its cardiovascular, immune, and antimicrobial effects. In the context of cardiovascular health, research has found that regular garlic consumption is associated with modest but meaningful reductions in blood pressure and cholesterol levels. For immune function, garlic's antimicrobial and immune-modulating properties have been documented in multiple studies. This broad antimicrobial activity is particularly relevant for seniors, whose immune defenses against infection are less robust than in youth. The fourth must-eat vegetable, the one that most seniors overlook entirely, is sweet potato. Sweet potatoes are one of the richest dietary sources of beta-carotene, the precursor to vitamin A, which is essential for immune function, vision health, and skin integrity. They are rich in antioxidants that support cellular protection against the oxidative damage of aging. Their fiber content, combined with their relatively lower glycemic impact when compared to white potatoes, makes them a much better choice for blood sugar management. And they contain compounds that support gut health and the diversity of the gut microbiome, which is increasingly recognized as central to immune function, inflammation regulation, and even cognitive health in aging adults. Let's go deeper on a few of the must-eat vegetables, because the research behind them is rich enough to warrant more than a brief overview, and the additional detail makes their inclusion in a daily routine feel more motivated and more meaningful. Starting with broccoli, the sulforaphane story is genuinely one of the most impressive in nutritional science. What makes sulforaphane unusual among plant compounds is its mechanism of action. Rather than acting as an antioxidant itself by neutralizing free radicals directly, sulforaphane activates the NRF2 pathway, which then upregulates the production of the body's own antioxidant enzymes, including glutathione, superoxide dismutase, and catalase. These endogenous antioxidants are far more potent and more targeted than any dietary antioxidant because they are produced where they are needed and respond to the body's real-time oxidative stress levels. For seniors whose cellular oxidative defense systems have become less efficient with age, the NRF2 activating effect of sulforaphane essentially tells aging cells to step up their own protective activity. The garlic story also deserves more depth. From a blood pressure perspective, allicin appears to support the production of hydrogen sulfide in blood vessel walls, which causes those vessels to relax and dilate in ways that reduce the pressure inside them. This mechanism is distinct from most blood pressure medications and works through a pathway that complements rather than duplicates pharmaceutical interventions. For gut health, garlic acts as a prebiotic, feeding the beneficial bacteria in the gut microbiome in ways that support the diverse, healthy microbial community associated with better overall health outcomes. The sweet potato case is worth expanding on specifically in the context of blood sugar management. The glycemic response to sweet potatoes is significantly influenced by preparation method. Boiled sweet potatoes have a substantially lower glycemic index than baked sweet potatoes because the boiling process changes the starch structure in ways that slow glucose absorption. The beta-carotene content of sweet potatoes is also worth specific mention, because consuming them with a small amount of fat significantly enhances beta-carotene absorption, since this carotenoid requires dietary fat for efficient uptake from the digestive tract. The fiber story connecting all four of the must-eat vegetables is also worth drawing together, because fiber is the most consistently underconsumed nutrient among older adults, and the consequences of this deficiency are significant and widespread. Dietary fiber supports gut health and microbiome diversity, which is connected to immune function, inflammation regulation, and even cognitive health. Fiber slows the absorption of glucose, reducing blood sugar spikes after meals. It binds to bile acids in the digestive tract and removes them from the body, reducing cholesterol levels over time. And it feeds the gut bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids, compounds that directly support the health of the cells lining the colon and have broader anti-inflammatory effects throughout the body. Broccoli, spinach, garlic, and sweet potatoes all provide meaningful amounts of fiber, which is one reason why including them daily contributes to the comprehensive gut health that supports overall well-being in the aging body. Let's also take a moment to talk about the broader principle this vegetable conversation illustrates, because it is one of the most important and least discussed aspects of nutrition after 60. The same food can be genuinely excellent for one senior and problematic for another depending on their individual health context, their medications, their kidney function, their thyroid status, and their specific health goals. Personalized nutritional guidance, ideally from a registered dietitian who understands the specific interactions relevant to a senior's complete health picture, provides significantly more value than general population advice. Before we close, this video is for general educational awareness only and does not constitute personalized nutritional or medical advice. Please discuss any significant dietary changes, particularly those related to medications like warfarin or conditions like kidney disease or thyroid disorders, with your doctor or a registered dietitian before making them. If this video gave you a clearer and more specific picture of how to think about vegetables in the context of aging after 60, please share it with someone you care about who is in this stage of life, because this is the kind of nuanced, practical information that most seniors never receive clearly enough to act on. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to Dr. William Hart Health for more videos like this every day.